Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my live. Supriya Raja here from Power Reading Hub. If you're watching this as live, please type in the comment section as hashtag live. And if you're watching this as a replay or as a recording later on, please type in the comment section as hashtag replay. And also let me know from which city or town you're joining from. Before we proceed, I would like to first wish all of you a very happy Shivratri. May the Lord bless you and your children. Loads of good health, happiness. May the Divine also bless your children with a lot of success. May your child soar to the pinnacle of success. Let's come back to this slide. So today I will be diving around the topic from struggling to thriving, the reading breakthrough every child needs. I would also urge each of you, whether you're joining live or you're joining as a recording, to participate by posting your comments in the comment section below. So let me start with this particular question. What is your child's biggest challenge regarding reading, spelling, comprehension, oral expression, or even behavior? You can type in the comment section. Now, what if in a couple of months you see your child reading so easily, with so much of fluency, spell much better, form better sentences, understand better, and even enjoy reading books? How would that feel? Would you feel great? If so, type in the comment section as great. I know that many of you do know me. However, there are some of you who don't know. So let me introduce myself. I'm Supriya Raja, the founder of Power Reading Hub. And I've helped more than 600 children, working closely with them and transform their literacy skills and confidence. And my mission is to empower children to become power readers, curious learners, and confident leaders. So, in this particular section, in this particular live, we'll be talking how the different aspects of the struggles that children have and how power reading can transform your child's reading and also build overall self-confidence. So let's first start with the story of 9-year-old Veena. When her parents approached me, Veena was struggling to read even though she was 9 years. She would guess words. She would also be very, very anxious when her father asked her to read even billboards. She would start to cry. Her parents got so worried because she was already 9 years and she was still struggling and barely able to read beyond grade 2 level. But after the targeted intervention at Power Reading Hub, Veena's reading fluency dramatically improved, her confidence soared, and she was so motivated to read. Her class teachers also began to notice this amazing change in Veena. In fact, Veena would always come to the class showing me her books that she was reading at home. So this was how power reading changed not only her skill set, but also her overall confidence. The reading struggles many children face. How does it look like? The first thing is children with struggle in terms of reading have a problem in terms of fluency of reading. Now let's think, what is a fluency of reading? Fluency is nothing but the speed or the rate of reading, and is calculated as words correct per minute. That is, if, say for example, a child is 9 years of age, the fluency at that age should be, the child should be able to read approximately 135 words correct per minute. Unfortunately, struggle readers read way behind, simply because they are either spelling each words or reading very, very slowly. which is called a labored reading. And when a child experiences this kind of struggles with reading, it's very natural for the child to feel embarrassed in class, especially when the teacher is asking him or her to read in front of the entire class. The second issue that struggle readers face is also with comprehension. This is but natural because when a child is already facing reading fluency, the entire mental energy is focused completely on decoding the words. There is no energy left to be able to comprehend or understand what is there in the content. So hence, again, this problem is translated in class in form of avoiding participation in class. And the third way, what else happens is that it's natural that those children who are struggle readers will start comparing themselves with the peers who read better, thinking that he or she is reading much better than me, I'm no good. And what are the emotional impacts of struggle reading? One thing is because of past failures, negative experiences of being scolded at by the teacher or by the caregivers, they fear failure. They fear trying new things. They're so afraid to fail and they're so afraid of ridicule. So they just don't want to believe that if they're asked to read in front of everyone, they will be exposed and they will be made fun of. So they will clam up. Also, because while reading, if there is constant correction by the caregiver or educator in a very harsh way, then the child is again feeling very embarrassed and very self conscious about reading in front of others. And to top it all, it impacts emotionally that I'm not good enough, I'm not as smart enough, my friends are much better than me. All those things take a real negative toll on the child's mental well being. Unfortunately, this also translates in they not able to read examination paper, for instance, word problems or even questions during the examination. Because they're not able to read that, they're not able to comprehend what they are being asked in the examination. And hence, their answers are incorrect, leading to low grades, even though they know the answer. So, what are the other underlying conditions which can aggravate this problem, along with just reading struggles? Some children experience an additional problem of inattention or focus, which shows in the form of a disorder called ADHD or ADD, which means attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or attention deficit disorder. ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder manifests in the form of excessive external energy that is running around, constant running around, squirming in the chair, constant chatter, not waiting for their turn, impulsive behavior, etc. So, when such children are made to sit and to read for a longer duration, they can't sit. They'll constantly ask for a bathroom break, to drink water, a break to sharpen their pencils, for which they will deliberately break the pencil lead so that they can go and sharpen it again and again and again. Now, coming to ADD, attention deficit disorder. Here, the hyperactivity aspect is missing. That is, the child does not run around, but it appears that the child is paying attention in class or at home, but the child is actually daydreaming. So the child is physically here, but mentally elsewhere. So here again, because the child is not paying attention in class, the child doesn't really process what the teacher has told or hasn't made adequate notes to study later on. Now, let's look at the signs of a reluctant reader. What are the signs? Because why does reluctance come in children? Simply because they are unable to read, unable to comprehend. They want to now avoid doing that. So, what are the signs that we can look out for? One is complaints about reading, reads only when forced. How do they complain? I don't like to read. I don't want to read. Reading is boring. I hate reading. But they love doing anything else like dancing, playing football, basketball, badminton, baking, drawing, coloring, everything else they love doing. Anything but reading. That's how they avoid. The next thing is they read only when forced. That is, as a parent, you may be forcing. You have to read one page, you have to read one section. The teacher has to, the school has to. Because they're being forced to read, they will sit. But again, they can't sit beyond a stipulated period of time. After 15 minutes, they will start squirming, they will ask for bathroom breaks, they will again want to sharpen their pencils. It goes on. The next sign of a reluctant reader is struggling with new vocabulary, which means suppose a child is in grade 6 and the child hasn't practiced adequately, his or her reading level would be probably at grade 2 or grade 3 level. So, when a grade 6 vocabulary word is presented to them, either in their textbook, English textbook, or science textbook, know what that word is and understand that particular chapter or that particular lesson. This is because, again, lack of adequate practice over the years. So, here again, they will see that, okay, this is so difficult for me to understand, I'm not going to read this. This also translates into avoiding academic work, whether it's in the form of homework or it's in the form of doing an assignment. Usually, children who are reluctant readers will stretch their homework so much so that a half an hour work will extend to a 1.5 hour or 2 hour work. And it can be very frustrating. I'm understanding as a parent. If you are experiencing this, type yes in the comment. So now let's look at the root causes of literacy skills. What are the root causes? Why does it happen? There are three main root causes. One is genetic factors. That is, if anyone in the family, like they say, it runs in the family, maybe a grandparent or an uncle or an aunt, anybody has it, there's a higher probability that your child will also have it. The second reason is inadequate practice. Like I said, a child who is at grade 6 level and still not able to read grade 6 level words, but is able to read grade 2 level words, is simply because of inadequate practice over the years. So if you present to them grade 2 level words, they will read it with ease. But if you present a more complex word like a polysyllabic word, there they will struggle. This is simply because of inadequate practice. And the third main reason is lack of exposure to language. What does it mean? If you are staying in a tier 2 or tier 3 city, like a small town or a village, there is a higher probability that English may not be the spoken language in the area or in the neighborhood. I'm talking of English here simply because English is a business language and that is what is usually used in most of the schools. So coming back to this, lack of exposure in these small towns and villages because English is not spoken widely. So here again, the exposure level is reduced and henceforth, such a child, because of not being able to listen to the language periodically or regularly, not being able to speak the language periodically or regularly, will experience struggles during reading in class or even in spelling, generally in literacy skills. So the next thing is, why do the traditional approaches fail? Because we know as parents, we want the best for our children and we try so many methods at home to somehow get our children to read better or show interest in reading. So we adopt these particular methods, which may or may not be successful. One is forcing the child to read, yelling at them simply because we are being put under pressure by the school or the child is being put under pressure by the teacher. So we are so panicky, we get so anxious that we start forcing the child to read every single day, maybe 5 pages, 1 page, whatever it could be. But this is really not a very effective way, and the child will be resentful towards you and will definitely stop showing any kind of interest in reading, and the resistance will be so high. So this is definitely not an effective method. The second way parents adopt, and it's not an effective method, is that punishing or bribing. This is very common where parents tell the child, I will give you a very nice gift that you've been asking. Maybe it's an expensive gift, but I'll give it to you. Because if you're reading, you will get that. But this is actually a very tricky situation because every time you're going to be asking your child to read, your child is going to be asking for bribery. That particular toy, the child will say, I want this toy right now. So I don't think that this is a very good way to get your child to want to read. The next approach that parents adopt, which is not working, is relying completely on school. What does it mean? School has a structure, school has a format of teaching reading, but after a couple of years, maybe after grade 1 or grade 2, the schools will not be focusing so much to teaching how to read versus expecting the child to be learning, reading to learn rather than learning to read. The learning to read part gets done by the time the child is in first or second grade level. So if your child is still struggling in learning to read and the child is in third, fourth, fifth, sixth level, then I'm afraid the school will not be of much help to you and you will have to require additional support in the form of intervention for your child. And if you're facing such intervention issues, power reading does help in helping your child improve reading fluency. The next method is using incorrect strategies. One of the incorrect strategies is spelling each word and reading, encouraging the child to spell each word and read. Of course, it's a very, very tedious process. Imagine if your child is reading, a 50 word count passage, and imagine the child is spelling and reading each and every word. It's not going to be effective at all, right? So if you have been doing all these methods, drop yes in the comment section. Now, what are the proven strategies that you can use right now at home so that you can start seeing a positive difference in your child's reading fluency? Number one is, before asking the child to read, is to nurture an interest in your child towards reading. Yes, nurture a spark of curiosity in your child towards the concept of books and reading. How do you do that? One is talking about any topic that your child likes. These days, children love a lot of topics around, say, spacecrafts, or could be dinosaurs. I'm just giving some examples. So you can pick up any particular topic that your child likes or subject that your child likes to know about, and you can have a discussion on those things. Maybe you can even show a video on that for your child. When the child has adequate curiosity built, slowly you can start introducing a book, saying that yes, there are even books available on these topics, and there are age-appropriate books on all these topics. So you can definitely ask your child to slowly pick up these books and start reading on this. Maybe it doesn't have to be even a big fat book. It could be a simple book. It could be even in the form of a blog. It could be in the form of any research that has been there, whatever. It could be a one-page report also on that particular topic. But just getting the child to just start exploring the concept of reading and books. That itself will be a first, I would say, the first step to successful reading. The second thing is guided reading and spelling practice. One is nurturing an interest in reading, and two is actually practicing reading consistently, regularly at home. Even if it's for 5 minutes, it's fine. So helping the child to practice reading, if possible, under supervision, under your guidance. And if you're not around, you can even record a particular passage so that the child plays it in the as an audio recording and read along. So the your child will feel comfortable being guided, even if it's an audio recording, and can self-correct any mistake. So guided practice either with your child or even in the form of an audio recording. And spelling practice. So practice is essential. Ultimately, repetition actually works. But repetition using the right strategies also works, which is important. The third way you can use is building curiosity through discussions. Like I said, once a child has, for example, read a particular story, maybe let's take the example of Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan. Now you can ask about the character Swami and his friends, what your child liked, which character he liked, why he liked, what was the problem that he faced. And then you can also ask some, deeper questions such as, was Swami did Swami use the right strategy to solve this particular problem? If you were in this situation, how would you solve this problem? Now, asking such deeper questions help your child not only to think deeper, but also start training the brain towards problem solving. So A, it helps Such kind of strategy helps in practicing reading, improve reading fluency, because the child is then always looking at the print. It helps in spelling as well, and also it helps in comprehension and problem solving ability skills. So it's multifold usage, right? Multifold benefits actually. The next step, very important step, is writing practice. Now, writing doesn't have to be necessarily, in the form of copying anything, but it could be just in the form of a journaling. What is journaling? Journaling is nothing but writing down your thoughts. Okay, so you can ask your child end of the day to just write down two, three lines, three, 4 lines, how the day went, what was nice about the day. Let me tell you, all these techniques work very well for children in the age group of 9 and above. So this is particularly for those children. So journaling can be done like if you encourage your child to start writing what he liked in the school, what went nice, what didn't go so well, what he liked, what didn't he like, any good experiences, not so good experiences, anything. He can just, bring out all his thoughts into the diary or into the notebook. Again, how does this benefit? It benefits in practicing writing. Because he's putting down all his thoughts, his ideas, the flow will start happening in writing. Your child will start organizing thoughts in a better way, and his writing will overall improve in terms of coherence of writing, syntax, spelling, etc. And this will again translate in academic performance when your child is made to write a composition or even long form answers to questions in examinations. So you see how beneficial these steps are. Try these proven strategies and you will see that a lot of difference happens at, in the beginning itself at home. Now, let's take the case study of 12-year-old Abigail. Abigail's challenges was that she hated reading, she was not confident about writing, and her self-esteem was very low. She wasn't very sure and confident of even facing the class because being in seventh grade, she had a lot of opportunities in class, opportunities given to her to present in front of class, that is to talk in front of children. And she didn't have adequate confidence to speak in front of children. So power reading intervention again helped her to improve interest in reading, to read better, spell better, and also start penning down her thoughts in a better way in her written expression. So much so that her teachers started noticing her written expression skills and appreciating her. In fact, she started converting songs into stories. Isn't that creative? Yeah, that's what power reading does to our students. Now, how can you build confidence in your child through reading? Or rather, how can you empower your child? The number one thing is acknowledge small wins. That is, even if your child who has been so reluctant to read has started reading, started showing interest in reading, start acknowledging that and appreciate that. So that small, small steps lead to big results. Next is teaching adequate decoding strategies. This is a little tricky sometimes because not all parents know how to help their child with decoding strategies in reading words. Simply because words are always put in different categories. It could be in the form of sight words, it could be in the form of polysyllabic words or words with multisyllables, it could be in the form of words with silent consonants or words with preconsonantal nasal sounds. And each category requires a different way of learning to read or the strategy to apply to learn to read. Now, as parents, not everyone knows that. Here is where again intervention through an expert will help. And again, we at Power Reading know exactly how to teach your child to read different category of words so that your child can read any word that's presented in front of them. The next way to build confidence is encouraging independent reading. So that if the child has begun to read, is to motivate them, appreciate them, and encourage them to read independently, giving them a lot of confidence that yes, you're reading well, yes, you're doing a good job, keep going, keep going. So that way they will keep going every single day. Even if it's for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, it doesn't matter. But the fact that they're reading consistently, that alone will bring a lot of difference in their reading fluency. Let's take the case of Ahmed, 8-year-old. This is a huge win. When his parent approached me, he was unable to even recognize sight words. That is, he was even forget sight words. He was unable to recognize even phonic sounds. That is, he could not even make a letter sound connection. He was unable to say even this, that letter O gives O sound or letter D gives a D sound. Even that he couldn't say. But and his confidence was so low, he was barely even making eye contact with me. He would even never speak to me. Only when I was asking questions, he would respond. But after the intervention, which was consistent and targeted, Ahmed's reading fluency improved so much so that he started reading grade 2 level passages with ease. His confidence improved. He started practicing reading. And the reason, in fact, he was actually pulled out of school. I forgot to say that. His parents pulled him out of school because there was no use. He couldn't read anything. But after the targeted intervention, after seeing this amazing improvements in Ahmed, he secured admission in international school. In fact, when he wrote tests through three international schools, all the three international schools called him for admission, that he had passed the test in those schools, that to Ivy board. So this is a great win for Ahmed. So that's what we say. When children read with confidence, speak with confidence, grow with success, power reading is the foundation. Now, let's address the focus issues many of you may be facing with your children. How can you help your child who is having attention problem? Number one is shorter study intervals. That is, instead of making the child study for half an hour or 40 minutes, you can just make this child study for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I know it appears like it's going to be a long work for you, because if your child has to study for 10 minutes and then again take a break, it's going to be difficult to extend it for so long. But let me tell you, children actually using this method finish their homework, finish whatever they have to do at home regarding the academics. And also you'll notice that you don't have to spend so much of time forcing them, shouting at them, and exerting your energy to get them to complete their work, because this method really works very well. You can also use timers to make it effective. That is, after 5 minutes, the timer will buzz. So you can tell your child that within 5 minutes, I want you to finish writing this homework or this page. And children love competition, even though it's with timers. They will finish the work within that stipulated time or before the timer buzzes. The other way that you can actually ensure that your child focuses during study time or during academics is keeping a particular schedule, that telling your child that 7 p.m. is the study time, so that they know that 7 p.m. is the time that they have to sit for studies. So keeping a schedule for your child and keeping a structure for your child really will go a long way to actually sort things out and get your child to get into a discipline for the day. The next way is to declutter the space, whether it's in your child's bedroom or even your house, because too much of clutter actually aggravates their inattention. And if they have ADHD or ADD, it actually aggravates the problem. So decluttering your space or keeping things minimal helps the child to remain calmer and focus on whatever they're doing, including academics. Even better so, if you're facing the study table to a blank wall, which will help them not to get distracted with anything around them. Nothing on the wall and nothing on the table. So, how is power reading different from any other approach? First of all, we at power reading ensure that the skill building, which is so essential and mandatory, is done in a step-by-step fashion, so that the child is finding it easy to learn and it's nothing daunting or not at all overwhelming for the child. And the child can himself or herself see the changes happening in terms of their reading fluency, spelling, comprehension, written expression skills, and their overall confidence soaring. They also find themselves engaging a lot more with their peers because their confidence has improved, their spoken English is much better, and their oral syntax also improves. The program that we conduct is in a very engaging way that they find it interesting and easy to learn. Also, the program that we are having it here is for 9 to 11 years of age only. Okay, and it's a small batch of only 10 students. So the slots are limited, but the advantage is that we are able to give one-to-one attention, individual attention or personal attention to each child. And because this playway method is easy for the child and interesting and engaging for the child to learn, they learn faster. In fact, power reading has helped the child to be holistically improved. That's what we focus, holistic development. So your child will not just be learning in terms of improving in terms of reading fluency, but reading fluency, spelling, oral syntax, spoken syntax, written expression, overall confidence, problem solving skills, analytical skills, which is all important and required for this age group of 9 years and above. So you see, it is a holistic personality development for your child and not just some reading classes. So what can you expect in this, expected timeline transformation? Within 3 months, you see a lot of improvement in terms of confidence, in terms of fluency development, and motivation to read. 6 months, definitely, if you are sticking around for 6 months, definitely the child's reading gets even better, gets into a slightly conversational style of reading, comprehension improves, spelling also starts improving. And if you're sticking for longer, because it's a skill based, so it takes some time. 1 year, if you're sticking around and working with and helping you work with your child, definitely your child will be mastering reading fluency, and whatever word you presented, he will be able to read. Spelling also will be very easy for them. They'll be able to spell any words. The written expression skills, that is essay writing, composition writing, and also study techniques, because we also teach study techniques, how to study in for examination, that also they will master in this 1 year. So 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, there are different timelines. But there is a special bonus for quick action takers. And because it's exclusively for parents of the children aged 9 to 11 years of children. So if you're enrolling as an early bird, you get a lot more bonuses and special benefits. One benefit is extra 2 sessions for your child for the first 5 parents taking the action quickly. But because the slots are limited, only 10 students, once the batch closes, once the batch is complete, I will not be taking any more child. So what you need to do here is, the first step is join the WhatsApp group. I'll be putting the link below after the live to join the WhatsApp group, and also fill in the application form to get clarity about your child's area of improvement, and also what developments the child requires. And also I'll be putting a link to join our Facebook VIP group, the Power Reading Hub. So, as an offer, what does Power Reading 2.0 gives? All the sessions are live sessions. So it'll be 3 months. The basic will be 3 months sessions, 7:30 p.m. to 8:15 p.m. So 2 days in a week classes, 7:30 to 8:15 for 2 days. But it's for a term, just like a school, right? 3 months, 3 months, like a school term. It's a term basis. It's a small batch of maximum 10 children. And also, like I said, personalized attention given. Additional resources like worksheets, checklists, everything will be given to the child. Also, recordings of sessions will be provided to you as parents. Monthly meetups are always conducted for parents. And periodical review with parents will be conducted regarding the child's progress and what else we can do to improve the child's performance. Now, the free bonuses for quick action takers. That is, if you're taking action today or within 24 hours. One thing is free assessment of your child with assessment findings, because that is important. When I do an assessment of the child, I will get to know where your child is in terms of the reading skills, spellings, syntax, comprehension, etc. So you will also know where the child exactly is and where to know what is the gap and how to bridge the gap. So assessment will be there, and assessment findings, that okay, these are the things that needs to be done, would be given to you. Plus an individual education plan as to what will be done for the child will be also given to you, will be created and shared with you. Plus, for the quick action takers, additional 2 sessions for your child exclusively given to you. Now you might say, okay, maybe I will think and get back. I will think about it. Of course, you can think about it, but let me tell you one thing. All those examples that you saw, all those case studies and results that you saw, is because parents took action, timely action. In fact, I will also be putting the link to my website, which has a lot of testimonials of all the parents. So you can go through that. They are detailed testimonials. So the reason I'm showing all this is that when you take timely action, you will get results. Also remember that when you're thinking about, okay, should I enroll, should I not enroll, should I wait for some time, when you're all into this overthinking, there's some other parent who is taking a quick action and seeing their child getting elevated, seeing their child progressing in terms of his or her literacy skills, seeing their child getting more confident and performing better in school and beyond. So instead of thinking, and overthinking, take the action and see your child soar to the pinnacle of success. So join my community. I'll be putting the link to my community. I'll be putting the link to the WhatsApp group that you need to enroll to come into for a discussion with me. And also I'll be sharing an application form once you get into the WhatsApp group. All right then, thank you so much for your time and welcome once again to Power Reading Hub. I'll see you in the next live. And if you liked it, please put also in the comment section what were your main takeaways. Thank you very much. Happy Mahashivratri and good night. Bye bye.